Hello, I'm Kella Young, the president of the American Forensic Association. Today I'm speaking to Dr. Richard Pineda, chair of the Department of Communication at UTEP, NDT qualifier, and member of the U.S. National Debate Team.
I came to high school debate in the summer of 1988. I was getting ready to start high school. I had just transferred schools, and with my previous registration, I was all ready to go for writing classes. For some reason in my mind, I thought I was going to be a writer. So I was signed up for yearbook and newspaper. I got to my new high school, and none of those classes were available. And the high school counselor said, I can get you into another class for a semester, and then in January, we'll switch you back over to the writing classes. In the meantime, why don't you think about doing debate? I remember thinking, absolutely not. I refuse to do that. That sounds like something that only nerds do, and I did not want to do that. That first Sunday before school started, we had our first afternoon practice. I was introduced to a woman named Sean Minna, who was my high school debate coach and probably one of the biggest influences in my life. She came into the squad room, started barking out orders, and I watched my first debate. Within about 2 minutes of the 1AC, I was hooked. I thought this was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. The people that were debating seemed like they were the smartest people that I'd ever met. And in those 2 minutes, I knew that I wanted to do it, and I knew that I wanted to be as good as possible. And so that was my freshman year in high school. It was a whirlwind of experience. We were one of the, at that time, a bigger feat, qualifying as two freshmen to the Texas Forensic Association state tournament. And the rest really was history. I debated the 4 years that I was in high school, and then decided that I wanted to go to university and debate, and ended up doing my undergraduate time at Baylor University, where I debated the 4 years that I was in school. I can't say enough about how much debate changed me as an individual. Uh, as a student, the most significant factor was the debate taught me how to process information and how to process ideas in a really quick fashion. And that mattered because for somebody who went to a reasonably good high school, I was seemingly underprepared as a college student. And so the idea that I could take volumes of information and churn it down, I think had a huge impact on how I processed information as a student. It also meant that I probably spent a little bit less time studying than I should have, which has some repercussions down the road. But I do think about that all the time: the ability to be able to synthesize information and to be able to pull information out of these volumes of things to make an argument. And I think that that's carried over into my adult life. I'm an academic now. I run an academic department, but one of the things that I do a great deal is commentary on media for different political events, both in the state and around the country. And debate pops up all of the time because I feel totally at ease doing interviews. I feel comfortable with the idea of being presented with questions and answering those questions and feeling connected to the world around me. And there's not a day that doesn't go by in my role right now as department chair where strategy and the idea of thinking through arguments, not just in the day, but for the next couple of days or weeks, really comes in all of the time. And that's all about debate. And there's so many funny things that I think of because in my world, there's some sort of an analogous example from debate. So it doesn't matter if it's an administrative issue or something that I encounter, I immediately can put that in the context of debate, and it gives me a whole new range of ways to deal with the circumstance and to connect back with the nature of having that skill set. And I think that the other part of it is absolutely the network of people that I have come to know because of high school and college debate. Some of my best friends are the people that I competed with on the Baylor squad. These are people that are in different fields, but all very successful. And I think that matters. It matters because you've got role models that are your contemporaries, and you also have people that set a high aspirational bar for you, and I think that's important. I think that debate, whether it was when I was in high school, but especially when I was in college, it teaches you how to lose. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, I think that's one of the most important skills to be able to teach somebody. It's easy to talk about working hard to get a victory, but I think it's a lot harder to talk to somebody about working hard and still losing a ballot or losing a debate. And I think once you build that resilience, it really gives you an inroad to understanding the world in a very, very different way. And for that, I will always be grateful to my debate experience. I have a lot of really great memories from my time in collegiate debate and especially coaching debate. Some of my very best friends, including my college debate partner, Chris Salinas, is still my best friend. And I think that that's what debate speaks to. The experiences that we had our senior year is the only two Mexican Americans debating together really meant something then, and it means something now. We'd gotten this nickname as the Mexican Justice League, and to this day we still use that, and it's something that we're very proud of, and it's a referent point that's anchored very specifically in debate. But as I tell people, debate was important not only because it opened the world to me, from somebody that grew up in El Paso and got to see the rest of the state and got to see the rest of the United States in high school. College was the same way. It opened up the doors for me to do things that not a lot of my college peers were doing. So traveling and getting to see different places around the country. Not the most exotic places, I might add, but it was important for me and my worldview to see different parts of the country. And then ultimately, one of the most rewarding experiences was to be selected for the U.S. national debate team. The debate tour, sponsored in part by the AFA, was something that was literally groundbreaking and worldview changing for me. And so for about 2.5 months, the first year that I was in graduate school, I got to debate around the United Kingdom and eventually a week in Portugal. It was the first time that I left the country other than trips across the border into Mexico. And it just changed everything. And I have debate to thank for that. It was an experience that really was unparalleled. Now, it's something that I know that has changed in different incarnations, but it's something that I just can't put into the context of how debate opens doors for you. In that case, the experience that I had traveling around the UK and connecting with people and building the same kinds of networks that I had in the United States was really unparalleled. And again, folks that I'm still tight with and people that I find connection with because of debate. And it truly is one of the most amazing things that I got out of my time in debate, as well as 2 advanced degrees, a master's degree and a PhD that were paid for largely by working as a coach. And I think when I stress the value of academics to my students, I don't undersell the fact that it is expensive and it is costly, but it's a tremendous return on investment, and debate made sure that that was the case. And so I was able to get funding for my master's and for my PhD, and to a certain extent, because of that debate, put me into the professional capacity that I find myself in today.